Hello, growers. If you enjoy podcasts like this one, tune into my podcast In Search of Soil on YouTube for a deep dive into the mysteries beneath our feet. Join me as I explore topics such as mycorrhizal fungi, mushrooms, compost, biochar, and more. It's a soil nerd's dream. We're going deep. We're talking to scientists about all things soil related. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or a gardener just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Check out In Search of Soil on YouTube.
So we started out milking about 275 in North Georgia, in an area where there's not a lot of dairy farms. And we rented that facility for 14 years, and we saved every dime we had. And during that time, we had one of the highest milk qualities in the state. So high butter fat, low somatic cell count. So the good on both ends. And so we had a lot of people that wanted to buy our milk. And as prices of land got more and more expensive in North Georgia, my husband said to me, I think if we're going to survive in this business, we're going to have to move. And I really didn't want to move. And he didn't really want to move. And what we were looking at that time was to move to Florida or the southern part of Georgia where land was more available and less expensive so that we could farm and milk 3 times as many cows. But he didn't really want to be a manager of people. He wanted to be a manager of cows. And so he came home one day from the farm and said, I think I know what we're going to do. We're going to build a creamery. And I was like, a creamery? That sounds a lot like having 2 dairies. I'm not sure I'm up for this. And he said, well, if we can cut out the middleman and bottle our own milk and make a niche market, as close as we are to the Atlanta area, I think we can make it work. He said, people are wanting to know where their food comes from. They're wanting to know what their cows are eating. And they're wanting to know how their cows are treated. And so we could get behind that.
Just real quick, give me a little bit of a inside baseball view when we use words like dairy versus a creamery. You know, myself and I think a good chunk of our audience are kind of coming from the vegetable space where, you know, I mean, it's just you harvest it, you pack it in the cooler, and it either goes to a wholesaler, it goes to a restaurant, or it goes to the market. So kind of explain the difference between those two and how having those two integrated is dramatically different than maybe your standard dairy operation.
Yeah, so the dairy is where our cows live. It's where we raise cows. It's where we raise calves to heifers and then breed them and they become milk cows. It's where we do all of our milking. We milk twice a day, 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the afternoon. And conventionally, our milk was picked up by a co-op and taken to a processing plant in Atlanta, maybe to Florida, where it was commingled with milk from all over the Southeast. So we were a small farm. They would pick up our milk. They would go maybe an hour away to another dairy farm and pick up milk. Then they would go 3 hours away and pick up another load of milk. And eventually, when that truck got full, they took it to a processing plant. And we were paid on a contract from a milk co-op.
Gotcha.
So the creamery is where the magic happens. That's where we take our milk from our dairy and we bring it to our creamery, which for us is about 2 miles away. And we low temp pasteurize it and it's non-homogenized. So it's a cream line milk. We heat it enough to kill the bad bacteria, but not the good bacteria so that vitamins A and D don't have to be added back artificially. And so at the creamery, we do whole milk, chocolate milk, low-fat milk, and buttermilk, and we make our own ice cream. And occasionally when we have enough cream and we're not making a ton of ice cream, we bottle heavy cream and make butter. So that's what happens at the creamery. We have a retail store there. We have a silo there where we make milkshakes with our milk and ice cream, and we hand dip ice cream.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's where the magic happens.
That's amazing. So you've sort of, I mean, I guess you could use the term sort of vertically integrated. You are handling, you know, from, I would imagine if you're raising cows from from birth all the way through raising them to the point of where they're old enough to be bred and then to be milked, and then instead of just trucking it off somewhere else, you're really handling the product all the way to the customer. And is that, I would imagine that's a relatively rare thing within the industry. Am I correct?
Alec, it is becoming more and more popular. Lots of smaller farms
Mhm.
are looking at ways to find a niche market and sell their own products locally. So, one of the best things about this business and what we're doing is that when we started out on this journey, we started by calling up a farmer that had a creamery and saying, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this. Can we come and visit you?" And they welcomed us and told us all the things. And so now in turn, we get those phone calls and it's like we can pay it forward to somebody else. So we don't do all the things that we want to do and we don't do it all right. I mean, we're still learning. We actually opened the creamery in 2011. So this summer will be our 15th year in business.
That's
And
amazing. Congratulations.
I really attest that, though, to everything that happens at the dairy makes what happened at the creamery possible. So the amount of cows that we have, the milk that they produce, and the quality of milk that they produce is what makes Mountain Fresh Creamery acceptable and just a fan favorite in our area. So all the hard work from taking care of the cows, milking the cows, taking care of the babies, cleaning up, that really happens at the dairy, and that's where it starts and begins.
Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower, a proud retailer of the Sumi Soaker system. The Sumi Soaker system is an irrigation game changer. It offers multiple advantages for market gardeners. Even gentle watering without dry spots common with wobblers. The system is lightweight and portable, so you can use it with quick rotation crops. It's low maintenance with no parts to break or clog. It's versatile. You can use it for direct seeding, transplants, and cover crops. And it's very cost effective compared to overhead options. And maybe one of its best and most unique features is it can put down water in a rectangular pattern, which is very different than rotating sprinklers that leave circular patterns, often with dry corners and overwatered centers. If you want to learn more about the Sumi Soaker system, use the link below or visit us at shop.moderngrower.co.